What's up, guys? This is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin, and today I've got someone who's been making some serious noise in the combat world, and not just in one lane. She just wrapped up fight camp for her boxing fight this Saturday night. Let's talk about it, girl. Mikael Michelle Brown, what is up?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Of course.
I know you got a lot going on. It's fight week, right? All right.
Fight week.
Fight week, and we got a real fight. We got doing some boxing this Saturday.
Yes.
You obviously made a big name for yourself in Power Slap. You're kind of the next Power Slap phenom right now. But that is not where this all began. So let's rewind a little bit. What pulled you into the fight game? You know, what made you want to be in this combat world?
I've always been a competitor and love sports and big tomboy. So at about like 19 years old, I just went to the UFC gym just to take some classes because I felt like I was missing out, after high school. And then that's where I met Josh Clark. Okay. And I was just doing it for fun and fitness. And then he brought me over to Extreme and trained me there. And honestly, just being around the fighters, I was like, this is what I want to do. I love this. I fell in love immediately. And he trained me for my first MMA fight. I went out and had an amateur MMA fight with Tough Enough, which is crazy because you are tough enough.
Yes.
And yeah, that's just where it began, and it's been very different and crazy since then. But
yeah,
I'm here.
One hell of a journey for you since the beginning. And I love hearing you say UFC fight, the UFC gym. Like that's we're taking it back now. That's some old school shit.
It's not even there anymore.
Yeah, that's some old school shit. If you've been to a UFC gym, then you've been in the game. Okay,
oh, yeah.
That's awesome. And Josh Clark, I love him. How long did you like being at Extreme Couture, and did you getting good work in over there?
Yeah, I loved Extreme. Josh was my person, so I would work a little bit, like the classes with the other coaches and stuff, but really Josh was my main person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I loved being there, working with him, but when he moved away is kind of when I felt a little bit lost because I didn't have him anymore.
Right.
And, that's kind of when I transitioned and
the comfortability.
Exactly. Moved over to Syndicate,
which is amazing.
Yeah,
love it there.
Love
we both share our love and passion at Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
How many MMA fights did you have?
So I had one amateur fight. It was so long ago. It was about 5 years ago now.
Okay.
So
and tell the people how you won that fight.
58 seconds in the first round. I knocked her out. And it is my moment of fame, and I love it, and I think about it all the time.
But hey, I mean, you have one fight on your belt, but it's a knockout. But that just goes to show how you have spiraled into doing all this other amazing things and being, competing, in Power Slap and going out there with some of the best in the game. Paige Van Zant, you just had your competition with her, and now you're doing boxing. So we got MMA, slap, now boxing. What motivates you to try all these different avenues in the game?
So I think really starting off with Power Slap, it was kind of, I think I signed my first contract with them November of last year. And in that time I was kind of looking around because I just love MMA and I love combat sports so much, but I felt, a little lost. I wasn't actively fighting. So I'm like, what can I do? Maybe like other areas of fighting or what? And I was just kind of researching everything, to be honest. And I came across Power Slap and I had no idea what it was. And I'm like, okay, I've seen clips of it, but what is it as an organization?
Right.
And I really dove deep into it. And I was like, wow, first of all, it's just starting out. And that's the best to start out with a company.
Absolutely.
And I think I just put my information on the website. And
really?
Yeah. And I wasn't even necessarily sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I wanted them to contact me and talk to them. Yeah. And then the matchmaker reached out to me and she was like, here's the money, here's the date. Are you in? And I was like, I was kind of tossing it around. I did my research. I did even more research. And then I was like, yes, for sure, I'm in. And it's been the most amazing thing to ever happen to me since. So. Yeah,
I love that. You're like, I'm not waiting for something to come to me. I'm going to go knock on the fucking door of opportunity.
Exactly.
I love that for you. Like you said, it was new then. It's still new, especially to the outside world. It looks freaking crazy when people watch it. And it is crazy. But, what's it like being in there on that Power Slap stage mentally and physically? Like, what is it like out there, girl?
So for me, honestly, being on the stage is when I'm the least scared.
Really?
Because I know for a fact, going into it, the the least scary part for me is the physical stuff. I know I'm tough. I know I can handle it. In my mind, the worst case scenario, I get knocked out. I truly am not afraid to be knocked out. I don't want to be knocked out, because I don't,
knock on wood,
all that. But I'm not as scared of it.
Yeah.
What I'm scared of is the before, the interviews. Am I going to make it? Am I going to make weight?
Really?
And so when I got on the stage, I was like, all right, I'm here. I feel good. I feel like nothing can scare me now. I will say before the very first lap I ever took, I did have a moment where we're looking each other in the eye, and I, for a split second, was like, is this real? Like, am I really doing this? And then she hit me and it woke me up, and I was like, okay, I love it.
That's so funny. Dude, that's that fighter in you, though, the dog in you. You're not, the actual competition doesn't scare you. It's the other stuff that scares you. And I think that says a lot and about you as a competitor. And people like don't always take it serious, but like this is real shit. Like you can go out there and get knocked out. You know what I mean? Do you feel that people underestimate power slap and what it really takes?
Absolutely. I think, people are like, you don't have to have defense. You don't have to have defense, and kind of downplay it in that way. But I'm like, if anything, I feel like that makes it all the more tough, because at least in boxing, I kind of have my hands up. I can get out of the way, even though I don't all the time. But I can. In this, it's like I'm standing there. I know these clips go viral. I just watched 4 people in front of me get knocked out, and now I'm standing here waiting for my turn. So I think to say, power slap isn't tough is not a fair thing at all.
Yeah.
It's definitely the toughest thing I've done, for sure.
No, I couldn't agree more. Like being around the power slap a little bit more recently myself, I think people, like you said, definitely underestimate it. It's terrifying to go out there and not be able to defend yourself. Like, like I can slip and move. I can, protect my chin. Literally the only thing you have is going out there and praying that you bite down hard enough and that the bitch in front of you don't cheat.
Yeah.
Like it's scary. And like there are ways to help you prepare for that, right? To prepare for your neck and your chin and stuff like that. What is kind of preparing for slap like?
So for the first, like you said, slap is growing, and I feel like as one of the first females in there, I'm growing with it. So there wasn't much in terms of what they told me preparation for the first one. So I kind of made it up myself. Was like, what do I think?
Right.
I kind of Googled it, and there was literally nothing on Google.
Yeah.
So for the first one, I just did kind of as if I was going into a fight, and that was a mistake, because power slap, as much as you think it's like a fight, it really isn't. And so for the second one, I really evolved. I talked to some of the guys, especially Pono. He's one of the major guys in the sport, and he has so much knowledge. He taught me a lot how to prepare for it. So I really worked on my technique slap wise. I did a lot of strength for my neck, my traps, my jaw, and my core to really like stay stable. And then in terms of my offense, like my slap technique, I just repetition, and
Drillers make killers.
Yeah, drillers make killers.
Hell yeah, I love it. Like you said, it's and that's like it's not fighting. Like you said, the preparation and stuff is different. But I hate when people downplay it or whatever, because it's like it's still not WWE. You know what I mean? Like this is still real shit. You can still go out there and get knocked out.
Exactly.
So it's serious, but the preparation is different. Yeah, for sure. So I'm glad you touched on that.
Yeah. In terms of like cardio, there's no cardio. Yeah. But you still need to be strong. You need to mentally prepare, and that's a big thing. And then repetition. It's definitely not just wake up and go do it.
And I think too, like another reason people downplay it is because they don't understand what it's like to go out there and be under lights. And not only are you like, it's one thing to be fighting, in a underground or regional MMA scene. That's scary too, being under those lights and putting yourself on the line in front of a million people, or well, not a million, a lot of people. But you're not only doing that, you're going and being under bright lights. Under Dana White's, what Dana White is doing. This is real shit. So people that think like you said, mental, you have to mentally prepare for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that's scary.
Oh yeah. Actually walking on the stage, for my first one, it was pre-recorded, so there wasn't a live audience.
Okay.
So my first time in front of the live audience was with Paige Van Zandt. So it's like, not only is my opponent this huge name, this tough girl, all these things, but it's also my first time under all the lights
Yeah.
and in front of the huge crowd. The crowd was so big. I knew it was gonna be big, but to see it in person on the stage, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't gonna look the whole time. And then I finally turned around and, you know, flexed at the crowd a little bit. And the second I did that, my knee buckled and I was like, oh my gosh, because I like scanned the room and I couldn't believe it. And then I was like, all right, I'm not looking again. But you know, it all worked out. And
No, I mean, the clips I see, you're like, you're talking to the audience. I was like, you know, like, so the fact that you're, you know, you say you feel these nerves and stuff, you hide it so well. You
Thank
really
you.
do. Like,
Thank you.
You just look so confident out there. Like, I would never know that, you know, you're feeling these emotions. But yeah, it really is crazy when there's a crowd. But being with the crowd, did you feel that energy though? Did that help a bit?
I did. After, it took me like, I feel like 30 seconds to get back into my body. And really when I was standing there, like looking her eye to eyes, when I finally felt like, you know, in my body, after that, I was looking at the crowd. I was like, I love this. It literally, I feel like sparked something in me where it's like, I need to be here. I belong here. I'm obsessed with this. It just felt so comfortable. And I felt like it is exactly where I needed to be.
I love that. I love to hear that. And that's the thing is, this shit ain't for everybody. Not everybody's built for this. And if when you're out there and at that moment you feel that, that's how you know you're built for it.
Yeah.
Because some people would probably never. There's some people that never go back. They're like, fuck this.
Absolutely. Even before the first one, I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna quit after the first slap? Because I'd never been slapped in the face that hard.
Yeah.
So
No, it's crazy. All right, like I said, MMA, slap, boxing. Let's talk about what's going down this Saturday night. You're boxing.
Yes.
What got you to take this fight?
So I took this fight short notice, not even 3 weeks to prepare, but truly with the power slap stuff, I didn't expect power slap to change my life in the way that it did. After that big match with Paige Van Zant, between social media and people reaching out to me, I just have had so many opportunities. And in order to capitalize on all my opportunities, I took a really big risk and I quit my job. You know, I loved my job. I was comfortable at it.
What was your job?
I was a waitress.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Awesome.
At the Durango. Should I say that?
Yeah.
Okay. I was a waitress at the Durango, at Summer House specifically.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And I loved it. You know, all my friends were there. I made really good money. The job was easy. But at the end of the day, if I wanted more out of life, I knew I was going to have to leave.
Yeah.
And so I took the risk. My savings account, I was like, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I know for sure power slaps on top. That's my forefront. But I want to make a living for myself doing what I love. And I can't keep being comfortable doing that. And so after I quit my job, I still wasn't 100% sure on what I was going to do. It was like 2 days after that, I got the call. Hey, we want you to box. This is like a feeder into Misfits boxing. And me being, you know, just obsessed with everything and down. I'm like ready to risk it all for everything now. I said yes, and I started camp the next day. And luckily I had you there to help me. So yeah, for the last 2.5 weeks, I've been in a camp for boxing, my first time ever boxing. And it's been amazing. And in 4 days, 2 days, I'm going to fly to Nashville. And in 4 days, I'm going to be fighting. So
amazing. 3 weeks and to go take a boxing fight. First boxing fight that's like I said, you're a dog, dude. You got it in you. It ain't on you. It's in you.
Thank you.
Talk to me about camp. Like you said, it's your first boxing camp, and boxing's hard. Boxing camps are hard. Tell us what it's been like.
It's definitely been like probably the hardest 2.5 weeks on me physically, but it proved to me, just like the slap where I felt like, wow, this is what I want to do. Going in the boxing gym, being around, it just excites me. And I really feel that's where I need to be. And even when you and I sparred the first time, I was a little nervous because I'm like, you know, I haven't sparred in a long time. Am I going to take the punch and like still want to do it? Because, you know, you never really know. Yeah. And then after our first round, I was like, no, I love it. You know, it just got me so excited. And
it's literally that again, that show tells you, like even tells yourself, yeah, I'm made for this shit. Like when you get punched in the face and you like it.
Yeah.
Like that's me. Honestly, like, I had no idea we were sparring that day. I didn't know I was walking into that. And so I was like, once I realized we were, I was nervous because I hadn't sparred in over a year. And like I said, I've done this, but I was nervous too. And I literally had the same question. Am I going to take the shot the same,
Yeah.
But literally same exact feeling and reaction after I was like, I love this shit,
And people don't understand. Like when I'm like, no, I love it. It's like, they think you're crazy or they think I'm lying to them, but I'm like, no, I really, unfortunately, do love it.
You're just built different, girl.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's what it is. We're built different. Like there's like a small percentage of people who do what we do, and we do it because like we're made to do it, like we're there. I call them civilians or regular bystanders.
Yeah.
Like and like no shade to them, whatever. But yeah, it's not for everybody, and that's why everybody would be doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, so I felt the same way going to the sparring. But I feel like after we were both so happy and excited. Today, my girl got down on some hard rounds, 4 hard rounds. Yeah, you put it on me today.
Oh,
it's so cool to see too, like in 2 weeks, how much you leveled up and took everything that Coach Mike was telling you to do, angles, like your footwork, your range. It looked so different today than it did last week.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I think it's amazing, and that's going to kind of lead me into my next question: is boxing you see yourself leaning into more seriously, or are you just kind of testing out the waters?
So since I again, to talk about Power Slap, that's my life.
No, please do.
When I got into Power Slap, I had certain goals. And I think for me before, goals almost hindered me because if things didn't work out exactly how I wanted it to work out, I kind of felt like I couldn't move forward. I couldn't see past. So even when I first started Power Slap, I had certain goals and I never reached the exact goals I wanted to, but instead I started doing things completely different. And I started realizing that if I make these big goals and that's the only thing I focus on, I'm missing all the other opportunities on the way. Whereas if I just make my goal to be better every day or do something that I love more every day, I'll take other opportunities. And that's what led me here. So I don't know what my big goal is necessarily with the boxing, but I know for sure it's an opportunity I needed to take. Yeah. And every day I'm going to see what the next opportunity is and take that. And as long as I'm happy and I feel like I'm doing things that I love, then that's really my end goal. So
1,000%. I love that. You're just focused on the task at hand.
Yeah.
You're not worried about the other, everything will come. Just take what's in front of me is what I got to take care of. Right. No, I love it. And that's the beauty of it is it's your journey. Like you did slap. Now you're doing boxing. If you decide you want to do MMA, jiu-jitsu, that's what's beautiful about it is it's your fight journey, your martial arts journey.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. I love it. You kind of answered my next question. Honestly, I was going to ask you, what is the dream for you, whether it's boxing, MMA, slap, like what are you chasing? But from the sounds of it, you're just chasing greatness.
Yeah. I will say at the forefront of everything, I love fighting. I love boxing, but I really have found a home in Power Slap. I love Power Slap. The more I do it, the more I'm around it. It's evolving every day. I feel like I'm evolving with it. I truly love it. And I think the funny thing too, doing this boxing is so many people have said, oh, I'm so glad you're doing boxing next and not Power Slap next because it's going to be so much better for your brain or you're not going to take as much like damage. You can actually defend yourself. And in my mind, it's crazy because just in our sparring session today, and this isn't to,
no, of course.
Down talk boxing because I literally love boxing now. But in just our session today, you hit me harder than I've been hit in both of my competitions in Power Slap more times.
You hear that, Paige?
Yeah. The call out already. I love it. So in just 30 minutes, I took more damage than I've taken in the last 8 months in Power Slap. And again, that's not to say one's better than the other. But if you're making the argument that I'm getting so much more damage in Power Slap than I am in anything else, I have to tell you that is not true at all.
Absolutely not. And I hear this too a lot. A lot of people are so worried about the brain damage and stuff in Power Slap. And obviously, yeah, I get it. But boxing, I think, and I've always said this, I think boxing is more dangerous out of all the combat sports,
Yeah.
even MMA, because you take so many shots to the head and blows to the head, you know, like, after a lot of my boxing fights, would have like the bad concussions, like the symptoms, you know, and stuff where you're sick. Boxing is its own different animal.
Yeah.
That one is really not for everybody.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, in other aspects like MMA, you can't box, but you might be able to wrestle, or you might be able to grapple, you know, or kick, stuff like that. But in boxing, you got two hands and what God gave you, baby. That's it.
And I'm learning that quick.
No, yeah, I totally love it. I think you're gonna do amazing out there. I'm super excited for you.
Thank you.
Now let's take a little bit, you know, what do you do? What is outside of training life like? You're doing everything. You're constantly in the gym, but when you actually get a sec to just, you know, take time to yourself and focus on another hobby that you love, what is it?
So I'm trying to find that right now, actually, within myself. I think that's kind of my next thing of learning about who I am, because for so long it was I have a full-time job and I'm training for Power Slap, or I'm going to the gym and stuff during the day, but at night, you know, it's work. So now that I have those 40 hours a week where I'm not at work, I'm trying to find myself and see really who I am and what I like, because I'm still doing the day-to-day training that I've always done. But now I've been exploring other things. I really want to get into content creation. I want to show, you know, a lot about Power Slap. People have so many questions. So I want to show, you know, all those questions, but also like who I am, how I've gotten here. Really kind of like want to motivate people, because I remember when I was in a really like sad and dark, like a year ago, and sad, dark place, I felt like there was nobody that I could relate to. So I kind of want to be somebody that you can relate to, because, you know, I'm not 18, I'm 26, and I'm just starting now. Yeah. So I want to show like it's not too late, you know.
Absolutely, 100%. And I mean, even 26 is still so young. Yeah. But no, I love that. I think that you would do really well with the content creating. I mean, I see some stuff that you do now, and I'm just like, she's so good at that. Like, you know, you're like little day to day. Like, I'm like, and you look so good doing it too. I'm like, me in the morning would not look that cute. Okay.
I love that, because it takes me like 4 hours to edit.
Okay, well, you're killing it. Good job. The editing looks great. I did want to circle back a little bit really quick to touch on what you had said about, you know, you love Power Slap. Power Slap is like it's who you are, and like I really think like you were at the beginning of it, you know. So like I kind of feel like you're the face of, you're one of the faces of it. Like when it's brought up, when it's talked about, like Mikael Michelle Brown is like, you know, like when you hear UFC or MMA, like Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate, those faces used to come to you know, come to mind as far as women and stuff like that. So I think like you kind of have that when it comes to Power Slap, and it's something to be truly proud of.
Wow, that's making me cry, because that's like I guess I did have goals that with Power Slap, that was my goal, you know. I wanted to be one of the first women, but also like a face of it. When you think of Power Slap, you think of me, you know, and I want to shed like the brightest light on it. And I think I've been doing well so far, between how people felt around me about Power Slap when I first started versus now everyone's all for it. They love it. So I just want to bring it out there more, like how amazing of a thing it is. And when you look past your little feelings of certain things and look at it through different lens, it's actually an amazing, fun thing.
I love it. And I like the fact that it's just starting out, like, and like, if anybody thinks that it's not here, it's here to stay. Like, like us, like, you know, kind of being in communication and stuff, or like being behind the scenes. Power Slap's here to stay. It ain't going nowhere. No. And Dana White's only about to take this shit to the next level. So I think it's so cool that you're here in the beginning, because I think you're gonna be here forever. You know, you're gonna be going down in that Power Slap Hall of Fame one day.
Oh God, I hope so. Because there's so much to do. Like even it's not even. I don't need to go slap every competition, but I want to be there. I want to teach the new girls. You know, I want to coach them. I want people to come to me with questions. I want to be behind the scenes and, you know, help things and really just be a part of the organization.
And that's what's amazing about you, Mike Michelle, is like you're, you know, you could be one way or the other. You could be like I'm that bitch. I was here at the beginning, and I don't care to help anybody, you know. But you don't. You're so, like you said, here to help, here to train. You're so open to, you know, giving people tips. Like you were there at the Power Slap camp, and just like so nice and, you know, welcoming, and like So I think it's really great. Like you said, you want to shed light on it. And I think you're the perfect, like, I don't even know how I would say it, like walking campaign or whatever for Power Slap. You know, you got an energy that some people would say is unmatched. You have so much confidence within yourself, but you also show a lot of grace, which is amazing. And I think it's cool for like these young girls coming up to see and witness, you know. But when it's go time, it's go time. You got that dog in you, girl. Like, you know, nobody be mistaken. But I do have to ask, you know, where does the confidence come from? Did fighting pull that out in you, or have you always had that?
That was so nice. First of all, it literally made me cry. Thank you. Oh my gosh, sorry.
It's okay. Hey, it's fight week. You're hungry and you're a little emotional.
So
girl,
sweet.
Don't be sorry. I love that. This is sweet. I love it. This is like I say, real stories, real talk, real fighters. Like this is real shit right here. Raw moment.
I feel like helping in the combine with the girls really was kind of the most confident, because it wasn't an outwards confident. I had to be confident to myself. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go help 5 girls that are probably gonna slap me in the face one day, but I'm gonna show them how they're gonna slap the hardest, how they're gonna slap the best, even though I know for sure at some point they're gonna slap me. So it took a lot in me, and like I really had to humble myself to make the decision. Even the first one I helped the girls with before my last competition, that, you know, humble myself and, okay, apart from me, and I take myself out of it, I want Power Slap to grow, and I want the female division to just be amazing, because being a part of an amazing female division is better for me at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But I still don't want, you know, I still want you guys to succeed as well, and us to all grow together. That took a lot of humbling and confidence within myself, but I'm happy I came to that, and then I got to meet you and all that. But that confidence really came from, I would just say, the last year of working on myself. I was the opposite of confident. I didn't even like to leave the house at one point. So between, you know, getting over depression and anxiety and eating disorder that I struggled with for 10 years, through all of that, and through God for sure, is where I gained my confidence, because now I know, okay, mentally I can rely on myself, and I know if I rely on God, you know, whatever I do is gonna work out how it's supposed to. Even again, if it's not exactly what I want, He always has something better. And so I just go through everything. When I feel like, okay, this is where God wants me, is when I'm the most confident. And with the boxing match, I felt like, you know, I quit my job, and I literally didn't, like, I knew I wanted to quit my job, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then to get that call, and then as I was trying to figure out who to coach me, because Mike was like, why did you pick me? And I was like, I literally was praying to God, and your name popped up on my phone, and I hit you up, and you said, let's start tomorrow. And I felt like it just kind of all aligned. And then so now I can go into it, okay, I do my part. I know I'm supposed to be here. I have that confidence. And same thing with Power Slap. You know, I prayed about it a lot. And once I felt like the confirmation from God that, yes, it is something He wants me to do, I went full force. And again, it turned out so much better than I thought it could. So
absolutely. Gosh, me tearing up too, you know, just like you said, you went through that dark place, and you know, you pulled yourself out of it, and like all thanks to God, glory to God, like anything and everything through God is possible. So I love it. I love it so much. I love to hear that so much. It really is amazing. All right, we are just a couple nights away from fight night, right?
Yes.
What kind of statement are you looking to make when you go out there?
I want to make the statement of my confidence, to be honest. I want people to ask me the question you just asked me: where did you get this confidence to have never fought, to 2.5 weeks notice, be 10 pounds over? What
by
gave
yourself?
You the confidence?
Don't forget, by yourself.
Yeah, by myself. Going to Nashville all alone.
Like that's some real crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like you're a dog, dude.
Thank you. Above all else, I want to show people that give glory to God. Like, you know, through Him, I know I can do whatever. So I feel like that's kind of my way of, you know, showing Him and who he is through me. And, you know, of course, apart from that, I'm going to knock her out. That's my goal.
Hey, let's go.
With the knockout, which sounds crazy, but through the knockout, you know, ultimately show God and what he can do in your life.
Yes, absolutely. And how many rounds is this fight?
It's 3 2-minute rounds.
3 2-minute rounds.
Yes.
Okay. I my prediction is you stop her in the third. That's my prediction. All right, y'all. All right, girl. Is there anything you want to say to your fans and your supporters, people that have been rocking with you, and then the ones that are going to keep coming rocking with you as this, you know, as your journey keeps going and you keep killing it? What do you want to say to your people?
I want to say thank you for believing in me, first of all, and second, that just keep watching because I'm not done and things are going to be big for sure. So
hell yeah, I cannot wait to see what you do, girl. I really
you.
can't. Mikael Michelle Brown, y'all, coming in hot this Saturday night, whether it's slapping or scrapping. My girl shows up ready. We're going to be watching, cheering you on. Make sure you guys tune in and see my girl get it done. This is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin. Real fighters, real stories, real talk. We'll see you next round.